Welcome back to my latest property purchase. This is a 2-bedroom detached bungalow in Sussex, and it's got a nice garden front and back, it's got a driveway, and it's got a detached garage, so it's definitely a good property. Now, I actually won this from auction with about 2 hours to go before I had to jump on a flight and go off on holiday. So I had to win the bid, send over the 10% exchange deposit, pay the fees, and then quickly rush off to the airport so I could get on holiday, and then completed on this property 28 days later. Now, what I want to do in this video is show you the potential that this property has. I want to run through the potential refurb costs of that, and then share with you the different exit options. But to start with, let's take a look around so you can see what this bungalow looks like. This is the master bedroom with only a little bit of mould in here. This is the second bedroom. Well, this is the sitting room, in which I imagine was once a very cosy room. I can always imagine the old person who used to sit here with their TV tray, watching the TV in front of the fireplace. But yeah, it could be a great sitting room very, very soon. This is the bathroom, which I can just about fit into, so this is definitely going to need a change of layout. This is the kitchen, which has well and truly seen plenty of cooked meals, as you can tell. This is the rear porch, which I think we'll have to go. It's a pretty redundant space. This is the house. This is the driveway, and of course that is a garage. So as you can see, it seems like I bought a small, dingy and smelly bungalow, and to add to that, it's got mould, a lot of mould as well. And I actually paid £245,000 for this bungalow. And the negatives don't stop there. It's got a garage with an asbestos roof. It needs a full rewire. It's currently only got electric heating. It doesn't have a connection to gas, and will need that if you want to put a gas boiler and radiators in here. So there certainly are a lot of negatives to this house. But there's also a lot of positives too. This property is detached. It's got a detached garage, it's got its own driveway, and as I said, a big garden. It's also on a really sought after road. You can really easily walk into the town centre from here, and also you've got one of the main popular primary schools just further down the road as well, making it a very popular road. And as you can imagine, when something's popular, well, the prices tend to go up. So the end values on this road are really, really good. In fact, this bungalow was built as one of 3 identical bungalows, probably back in the 50s or 60s time. And the bungalow just 2 doors down, which in all fairness has been refurbished and extended, has actually just recently sold for just under £500,000. So with all of that in mind, the purpose of this video was to share with you, well, the bungalow, but also the costs and also the exit options. And there are a few different options here. So option number 1 that I have with this bungalow is to actually just keep it in exactly the same form, not extend out the back, not extend into the loft, just simply use the current layout. Now, if I was to do this, obviously I'd have to strip it back. I'd have to think about plastering the ceilings, doing the rewire, getting the gas connection, putting in gas central heating, new kitchen, new bathroom. And what I probably would do with the kitchen is to knock it through, because currently it's very small, and I'll overlay a picture of the floor plan of the current layout. But what I'd probably do is knock down the wall in between the kitchen and the sitting room to make a nice open plan living room, because as I said, the kitchen is very, very small. I'd also, where the bathroom is, knock out the kind of airing cupboard where the current immersion tank is, in order to make the bathroom bigger, because again, it's currently very, very small. By doing that, you'd make a perfect little bungalow for an older retiring couple, or perhaps a new young couple looking to buy their first property. The cost of that refurbishment, from what I've had priced up by my builders, would come in at around £45,000. The end value would be in the region of about £350,000 to £375,000. So there's a reasonably nice sized profit there. So option number 2 that I have here is actually extending out of the back of the property, doing a single story rear extension into what could be a really nice garden. And this is south facing too, with kind of nothing obstructing the view, no shadows or anything. So yeah, really nice secluded garden. That sounds a bit like estate agent talk, that. But anyway, we'll carry on. So rear extension, probably 6 meters wide by probably about 3.5 meters in depth. That's what I was having quoted for. So 6 by 3.5. Now for extension costs, obviously they're going to vary massively depending on the builder that you go with, but my builder quoted this at about £2,000 per square meter, and that's up to plaster. So that's doing the full shell of the extension with obviously the foundations, building up the brickwork and the block work, obviously getting it up to plate, putting the flat roof on, which I'd probably do the fiberglass flat roof system. So when talking about extensions, obviously the costs are going to vary massively builder to builder, but my builder quoted about £2,000 per square meter up to plaster, which is very similar to when I previously extended another bungalow not too far from here. But that includes building the full shell of the extension with the foundations, building it up to plate, then doing the flat roof, probably go for a GRP flat roof, which is the fiberglass one and lasts for a long time, and doing it all the way up to obviously boarding it out and plastering it. That would then make this property really nice and open plan with that big 6 by 3.5 meter extension. Now 6 times 3.5 meters, that's about 21 square meters of new space, and that's going to cost about £2,000 a square meter, which is £42,000 total. Add that on top of probably taking down this old porch which is currently there and the cost of that, add that onto the other works that need to be done in the original part of the house, you're probably looking at £42,000 plus 20 or another £25,000 worth of work if you're doing it all at the same time with the same builders. With that in mind, if you did all of those works, what is this now worth? Well, this property is now going to be worth in the region of about £400,000 to £425,000. Another option that I have, which could be option 3, we could say, is to not extend out the back, but instead to actually extend up into that massive loft space, which is already semi-converted. You can see the Velux window up there. Now, if I went down that route, that's going to add a lot of value to the property, because in a property like this, where you've just got 2 small bedrooms, that's what's really limiting it currently from being worth more money. That and also lack of living space, but the bedroom space would definitely add value. So if I did a big dormer window extension like some of the other properties have down this road, you could add 2 large double bedrooms plus an ensuite, and now you've really opened up the cap of what this house could be worth at the end. The cost of doing that loft extension I've had coming in and roughly priced at £45,000 to £50,000 with those rooms done, fully finished, with the ensuite done as well, and the new staircase. So a lot of bang for your buck, but I do think a loft conversion is just crying out to be done at this property. So £45,000 to £50,000 spend for that, plus probably another 20 to 25 for the downstairs if you're doing it all at the same time. So at least £70,000 worth of spend. End value, once again, if you're just doing the loft, not coming out the back, probably £400,000 to £425,000. Option 4. I'm standing very close to this grubby wall. I'm trying not to touch anything as we go around. God knows what on earth went on in this room. But option 4 is to do both. Do both extensions, one out the back, one up into the loft, and to make this the biggest and best version of this property that it can be. And in fact, that would then match the property that I mentioned earlier, which is a couple of doors down, very similar to this. Has had both those extensions and is in fact sold for nearly £500,000. So that would really exhaust this asset, get as much out of it as possible in terms of profit margin, but also of course it requires more time and way more capital being tied up as the project was to go on and be refurbished. Obviously, the cost of doing those is going to be very similar to when I was discussing extending out the back, extending into the loft. It's just, well, it's double the cost of everything, as well as refurbishing the current bungalow, doing all those major items like rewires, plumbing, kitchens, bathrooms, etc. So high level of cost, but also high level of reward. Like I said, about £500,000 would be the price this would be listed on the market for. So I mentioned the loft was a big size, and well, here it is. It is a great sized room, and obviously, as I've mentioned outside, it could be a really, really good selling point for this bungalow, doing these massive bedrooms upstairs here. And as I mentioned outside, this is a massive selling point for this bungalow. I think it's definitely ripe for being converted up here. But that is not all of the options available to me with this bungalow. There is a bonus option, option number 5, which is to simply buy this property as I have and then do nothing at all. Simply not do anything, not spend a penny on it, and then relist it and sell it to another property developer. Now, a property like this, as I told you, I secured for £245,000. Yet, working out the math of refurbishing it in its current layout or doing the extensions still leaves enough profit in this property if someone was to buy it for 280, 290, or possibly even up to £300,000. So there is definitely an option here where I could sell it, known as property trading, where you're just buying something and then resell it on without having to do anything to it at all, no refurbishment. So that is an option. Might only make £15,000, £20,000 profit, but certainly an option to consider. The question is, which option will I take out of all the ones I've just listed? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching this video, and well, I'll see you in the next one.